So how does Jesus feel about these people plotting? He's angry. Instead of bringing this man with a withered hand to Jesus, they're planning to ensnare Jesus. So here's what we do, and this is what the Pharisees are doing. Sometimes this is what we do. If we can't control Jesus, we'll condemn him. We'll work around it. The man with the withered hand, from their point of view, was a way to tempt Jesus. From their vantage point, it was them trying to get Jesus to sin. But the truth is, they were setting up Jesus to do something good. Amen. Think about that for a minute, right? This is back in Genesis, right? You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Here the Pharisees are trying to tempt Jesus to sin, and in what they think he's going to do as sin, he is actually doing good. So now let me ask you a question, because this hit me this week. Is it possible when things go wrong, or people do me wrong, that God is setting me up to actually do good? I'll give you my personal experience here about it. Problem after problem. I've just seen a lot of problems lately, a lot of foolishness and troubled people. And what does that cause me to do? Well, in one sense, it causes me to think, well, how can I help them? But I tend to be like the Pharisees and want to control them. Let me fix you. But you know what this has really led me to do, and this is what I see God's changing in my heart, is that it's caused me to be driven to greater prayer. In other words, I'm becoming closer to God via the foolishness and my incapacity to help people as I think I should. I'm actually becoming closer to God, and the sin and the problems I can't solve point me to Him who can solve them. I mean, one of my closest friends keeps bringing up problems in his own life and in other people's life, and he keeps concluding, this is just one of those things that Christ just has to solve. I mean, there's a lot more of those than you'd think, right? I mean, every time you got a problem that you think, I could just do this for it or that for it, and then it doesn't work, you realize, well, maybe this is a problem that only Jesus can solve. So the truth is, these people were setting Jesus up. They were setting him up, but he was actually going to end up doing good. They meant it for evil. He meant it for good. Jesus had no fear of them. He would do good. He had a good conscience, even when he was reviled and plotted against. I mean, even the crucifixion is a reflection of those who condemned him, and yet he was doing good to them who condemned him. And so understand this. If you're following Jesus, people are watching you. And they're watching you to mess up. And they're looking to condemn you. That's why you don't ever make yourself the example. You keep pointing to him, right? I mean, yes, you're to tell people, follow me as I follow Christ. But really what you want to point them to is you want to point them to Christ. Because you're going to disappoint them, right? I'm going to disappoint you. You're going to disappoint me. And because the same situation is here today, right? You all know that the same devil and the same self-righteous spirit is still around today to trap people who are trying to do good, right? You all know that. So just realize that as you're following Christ, know that you're after doing good to others. Want to do that, because that's what Jesus is doing here. And notice the kindness. I mean, he says he brings this man right. Get up and come forward. It's maybe in this kind of setting to where they're watching him. They're not paying attention to him teaching probably. They're all into, okay, is he going to do it or not? And he brings him forward. That's like me bringing one of you up here. And then asks the question with the guy next to him. Is it lawful to do good or to do harm on the Sabbath, to save life or to kill? When people try to set Jesus up to catch him in doing something evil, usually they're the ones who are already doing that evil. So, it's the Sabbath. Jesus is being tempted to heal a man and do good on the Sabbath. And the Pharisees went out and immediately began conspiring with Herodians against how they might destroy him. Who's really breaking the Sabbath? Is it good? Is it better? Is it lawful to do good or to do harm on the Sabbath? To save life or to kill? And Jesus looks right into their eyes. Save life or to kill? Into their murderous eyes, right? That's exactly what they will do. They will, before this ends, right, they will plot to kill Jesus on the Sabbath. I wonder if they walked only a certain number of steps before they got to the Herodians, right? Because they got to keep their rules, to plot to kill Jesus.